Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to my channel. I'm really glad you're here. To my loyal subscribers, I am truly sorry I missed Tuesday's video. I am simply a human being with human limitations, much as I pretend most of the time that this is not the case. But one of my least favorite things about social media is the way in which everyone tends to show only their most polished and put together selves, which only contributes to all of us having unrealistic expectations for our lives and our bodies and our realities. So by way of disclosure, I would like to say honestly that while there have been a lot of things about this time of global pause and personal reflection that have been amazing and formative and strangely hopeful for me, that these things are not without their costs. That weathering the storms of change rather than just the small ripples can really take a toll on you. And I am in one of the most serious spells of depression that I have experienced in my life. And this is not a small claim, as I am no stranger to depression. But I am taking care of myself by leaning into the care of others. I am working with perhaps the best psychiatrist I have met. I'm starting counseling again, am trying a new medication, am getting exercise and sunshine and creative outlets where I can, and I'm really trying to listen to my body and my brain as closely as possible. I really overextended myself in active pursuit of denial, and so now I'm coming back to the basics, really taking stock of what my needs are and what internal narratives I'm listening to and trusting. Which is all to say, this shit is really hard, and we would all do well to give ourselves an excess of grace because these are genuinely unprecedented times. Strictly speaking, everything is unprecedented times, as the world is always changing. The only constant is change. But as I said before, sometimes that change appears as a quiet ripple. Sometimes it's a slow marching but unstoppable iceberg. Sometimes it's an exciting, challenging wave. And sometimes it's a sideways hailstorm coming at you on driftwood in the high seas. And right now, I think the amount of us experiencing change as a tiny ripple are probably in a minority. But resisting the trajectory of change pays off about as well as living in denial of your own depression, which is to say it doesn't work. We need more honest strategies for connecting to ourselves, to our needs, and to one another. We need to learn to hold multiple narratives, to be able to admit that things are terrifying and mentally tolling, but that moments of intense difficulty and disorientation also force us to take stock of things more seriously, to grow in necessary ways that we otherwise would not. We are rarely receptive to change, especially difficult change, when we feel totally comfortable. And while stress, mental illness, and depression are rarely enjoyable, there's a lot we can learn from these experiences about our limits, about the pace of our lives, and about the expectations we place on ourselves. I do not believe that my own depression is exhaustively or even primarily a result of COVID-19. It has been a difficult and wayward year for me, which I have coped with mostly by just trying to keep pace with the momentum, and have found myself disoriented and burnt out. But my depression is not unrelated to this virus either, and I anticipate that there are a lot of other people arriving at their first episode of depression, anxiety, or mental illness as a result of this moment in our collective experience. And I believe this extended moment of global pause can teach us difficult things in the same way that our neuroses can. That because there is something to learn from every perspective, even while we work towards healthier, more sustainable patterns of life, that we should also pay attention to the value of difficult experiences. While the deaths and displacement caused by this virus are tragic, we can recognize and celebrate the way that many other species are thriving for the first time in a long while as a result of overdue respite from human overactivity. While unemployment rates skyrocket, we can consider alternative economic systems that would not be nearly as crippled by this moment if we valued equity and sustainability more than greed-driven productivity. While this is indeed a tragic moment in human history, rather than treating such tragedy as an isolated, completely unpreventable circumstance, we can better understand this as the inevitable tide of change, a reminder of humanity's smallness in the face of an evolving environment, and can interpret coronavirus as a predictable consequence of climate change and a profound reminder that this planet is a shared planet, not one which passively consents to imbalance and humanity's unchecked exploitation. But there's not really much structure to this video or any point other than to admit to you all publicly that it's been a really super fucking hard week, hard month, hard year. And while I feel pretty confident I'll be back with more consistent content for you all next Tuesday, that I wanted to publicly admit that I am struggling, that I have limits, that I love you all and I love your support and I love this channel, but there are limits to what my heart and mind are capable of. And whether I wanted to or not, those became a non-negotiable priority this week. And if you're still watching, you're probably either a really wonderful friend, a close listener, or are feeling some or many of the same feelings that I am right now. So I'll conclude with a series of positive affirmations, followed by a meditative phrase you can connect to your breath to help ground you, at least for a moment, when you're feeling caught up in really difficult emotions and struggling to trust the cycle of change. And I'm always meditating alongside you all when I share these, and all of my thoughts and meditative phrases come from my own life, but today I need this even more than usual, so here goes. We are capable of discerning our own needs. We are strongest when we follow what feels right, what brings us pleasure, what grounds us most. We cannot make it alone, and in spite of how difficult it is to ask for help, depending on trustworthy others cultivates deeper, more honest strength by helping us shrink our egos and understand the interconnectedness of our lives. Things are really difficult right now, but they will not be forever. This too shall pass. But rather than focusing all our energy on yearning for the future, on wishing our lives away, we should try to be as present in our lives as we can be right now. To learn as much as we can from our difficulties, to see difficulty as opportunity, and to strengthen our relationships of support and channels of care. We should not judge ourselves for how we feel, think, or respond to the difficulties we are facing, but we should share those experiences as much as possible with people we love and trust who can help us to discern which voices to listen to. We should listen to ourselves with kindness and treat ourselves as if we were our best friend. And together, with time, patience, and perspective, we will weather this storm of upheaval and change and come out on the other side with larger capacities for self-understanding, interconnectedness, resilience, and care. And when we struggle to hear anything but negative voices, we will slow down. We will take a deep breath, then another, and another, and we will remind ourselves that the difficulty may be all we can feel, but it is not all we know. That there is good all around us if we look closely, carefully, and creatively. We will resist the easy impulse of collapsing difficult things with bad things, and we will think to ourselves, change is hard, but change is good. Change is hard, but change is good. And then we could change our phrase. Life is hard, but life is good. Life is hard, but life is good. Life is hard, but life is good. If you would like to share any response you have to today's video or any perspective of your own, I would love to hear from you in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video or it meant something to you, please like and subscribe. Your support means a great deal to me as I want to provide reflections which speak to you. And thank you for watching. I wish you peace and perspective. I love you all as I love myself, as we are part of the same world. And I look forward to talking with you all again soon.